1 minute ago, the skies above Britain roared. A plane touched down, and with it, a storm in politics began. Former U.S. President Donald Trump, larger than life, unpredictable as ever, has landed in Britain. And across London, Westminster trembles. Prime Minister Keir Starmer, steady yet cautious, now faces a crisis that could shake not only his leadership but also the very fabric of the UK's alliance with America. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are diving deep into this unfolding drama. Not just what happened, but why it matters, what history tells us, and what could come next. For those of you watching in America, aged 60, 65, maybe older, you've lived through turbulent decades. You've seen Nixon resign, Reagan charm, Clinton impeached, Bush at war, Obama inspire, Trump disrupt. You know that when giants land, the ground shakes. And tonight, Britain shakes with them. Imagine the scene. The runway lights glow, cameras flash, the presidential-style jet touches down. Crowds gather behind barriers, some cheering, some jeering, all watching history unfold. For many in Britain, Trump is not just a former U.S. president. He's a symbol. To some, he's boldness incarnate. To others, he's disruption personified. And when that plane door opens, it isn't just Donald Trump stepping onto British soil. It is a signal that diplomacy, politics, and power are about to be rewritten in real time. As his shoes hit the tarmac, whispers ripple through Westminster. Why is he here? Who invited him? And most of all, what does this mean for Keir Starmer, who only recently settled into power after years of conservative turmoil? Pause. One arrival, one moment, and suddenly an entire government feels the tremors. Keir Starmer, the steady barrister turned prime minister, built his brand on order, calmness, and rules. But Donald Trump thrives on breaking rules, shattering calm, and rewriting order. Already, members of parliament buzz with speculation. Will Trump meet Starmer face to face? Will he criticize him openly? Will he hold rallies that drown out the prime minister's carefully curated image of competence? For Starmer, the shadow of Trump is more than diplomatic. It's personal. A leader who has just found his footing cannot afford to look weak. Yet a leader confronted by Trump's unpredictable fire risks being dragged into a fight he cannot control. Cliffhanger. The question now, will Starmer stand tall or stumble under the weight of Trump's theatrics? The British tabloids are already ablaze. Splashed across headlines, Trump touches down, Starmer's biggest test. CNN, Fox, BBC, Sky News, every camera turned, every microphone pointed, every pundit salivating at the clash of personalities. And for you, the viewer in America, this is déjà vu. You've seen the Trump media whirlwind before. The more cameras roll, the louder his voice becomes. He thrives in chaos. Starmer, however, thrives in quiet control. And when chaos meets control, the media decides the winner. Who will they crown? Who will they crush? Pause. Somewhere, in the frenzy of flashing lights, a reporter stumbles onto a lead that could change everything. Why is Trump here? Is it merely to give speeches, to shake hands, to stir the pot? Or is there something more? Rumors swirl of private meetings with business leaders, with politicians skeptical of Starmer's vision, with figures who see Trump as a counterweight to British stability. If true, Trump's visit isn't just a headline, it's a wedge. A wedge driven into Starmer's party, his cabinet, his fragile public trust. For older viewers, this echoes Nixon in China, Reagan in Moscow, Clinton in Belfast. Moments where unexpected travel reshaped the map of diplomacy. Only this time, it's not diplomacy, but disruption, arriving with a red tie and a pointed finger. Cliffhanger. And deep inside 10 Downing Street, Starmer's advisors scramble. In the quiet halls of Downing Street, aides gather like soldiers in a war room. Phones buzz, documents shuffle, voices rise and fall. What is the strategy? Ignore Trump and risk looking weak? Engage him and risk elevating him? Attack him and risk offending American allies? There is no easy path. Starmer knows this. His leadership is new, his mandate tested, his enemies waiting. A single misstep could define him not for a week, but for a decade. And so, he must decide, does he fight Trump's fire with his own controlled blaze, or does he let the storm pass overhead? Pause. Meanwhile, the storm gathers strength, because Trump is already planning his first move. Picture the stage, flags behind him, supporters in the crowd, cameras locked. Trump takes the microphone, and in his unmistakable cadence, begins to speak. His words, a mixture of bravado, criticism, and promises. He calls Britain at a crossroads. He calls Starmer weak. He promises that strong leadership is needed. Every sentence is a hammer against the fragile glass of Starmer's new administration. And across Britain, living rooms buzz. Some nod in agreement, others seethe with anger, all are glued to the screen. For older Americans watching, the familiarity is uncanny. The same voice that dominated U.S. politics for years now echoes in the heart of London. Cliffhanger. And just as his words reach fever pitch, a surprising guest enters the scene. From the wings, a British political figure steps forward, someone not expected to share a stage with Trump. A former conservative heavyweight, perhaps, or a labor rebel critical of Starmer. Their handshake sends shockwaves. It signals alignment. It signals rebellion. It signals that Trump's visit is not just theater, but strategy. For Starmer, this is a nightmare. It is no longer Trump versus Starmer, foreigner versus prime minister. It is now Trump plus internal dissent versus the fragile unity of his government. Pause. And as the cameras capture the handshake, whispers turn into headlines. Is Starmer losing control? Markets tremble. Diplomats scramble. Starmer's approval ratings dip overnight. The opposition sharpens its knives. Across the Atlantic, Washington watches carefully. For President Biden, or his successor, Trump's visit is awkward at best, destabilizing at worst. U.S.-UK relations, normally a bedrock of stability, suddenly feel brittle. And through it all, Starmer remains calm on the outside, but inside, the weight grows. He must make a move, and soon. Will it be a televised address? A bold policy? A direct confrontation with Trump himself? The answer comes in the form of an emergency press conference. The podium is set. Cameras roll. The nation holds its breath. Keir Starmer steps forward, his voice measured but firm. He speaks of sovereignty, of respect, of Britain's strength. He acknowledges Trump's presence but frames it not as a threat, but as a challenge Britain will meet with dignity. His words are crafted like legal arguments, precise and sharp. He does not rant, he does not flail. He grounds himself in the values of service, law, and quiet strength. For some, it is reassuring. For others, it is too calm against Trump's storm. But for history, it is the line in the sand. Pause. And just as the nation exhales, Trump responds. Within minutes, Trump fires back, on stage, on camera, on social media. His rebuttal is fiery, personal, and global. He calls Starmer weak again. He mocks the press conference. He insists Britain deserves more strength, more energy, more vision. His words are both entertainment and attack. And once more, the cameras follow him. Starmer cannot escape the gravity of Trump's orbit. The battle is no longer about policy. It is about presence. And presence is where Trump thrives. Pause. But then, something unexpected happens. Something that shifts the entire narrative. Across Britain, ordinary citizens gather. In cafes, pubs, town squares, they debate, they argue, they reflect. Some rally behind Trump's fiery charisma. Others defend Starmer's calm stability. For many, it's a reminder that democracy is not just about leaders, but about people. And for you, watching in America, this is the lesson. Leadership abroad reflects the values at home. Trump's arrival in Britain is not just a political crisis. It is a mirror, showing how deeply personality can shape politics. Pause. The cliffhanger now is clear. Who will win the people's trust, not just for a day, but for a generation?